From the campus of the world's largest evangelical liberal arts university, Liberty University, where thousands of young people are training to impact the world for Christ. This is Live from Liberty.
This is a special convocation. We've got 3 people that are part of this convocation. The next one I'm going to introduce to you now. He's a graduate of Liberty University. He came from his country of Zimbabwe to study here. He's a person of extraordinary faith. He's only been back in Zimbabwe a few years. He started a ministry called Smile for Africa. He's the founder of that ministry called Smile for Africa. He's gotten attention all across not only his country of Zimbabwe, but he's been invited to participate in events with the World Economic Forum. He's been written about and bragged about on planet Earth as someone, as a person of faith, who's affecting real change in his home country, which is a country that has a lot of needs right now. And Zimbabwe is at the heart of many of the global issues that are the most preeminent of our time. And our Liberty University graduate, Albert Mavunga, is affecting change in real and positive ways. We've invited him, We've invited Albert to take 5 or 6 minutes here and answer the question, why did I go back to my country, Zimbabwe?
In sub-Saharan Africa, about 10,000 miles east from where we sit today, deep in the savanna grasslands, a young boy had a vision. His vision was to preach the gospel and help the poor. The boy imagined himself feeding the hungry, sending children to school, building clinics, homes, and improving the quality of life of his people. So after school, the boy would get his friend Putumani, and they would walk, sometimes run to the sports field and imagine the future. They would get to the fields in the winter, right before the grass had been cut. While the wind blew, the grass gratefully moved from left to right. These boys would stand on the platform and face the fields. They would hold a crusade and evangelize the grass. Putumani would go up first, lead praise and worship, while the grass responded gracefully from left to right. After Putumani had sang praise and worship, this boy would step up and preach the gospel to the grass while it moved from left to right. The boys did this several times during their days in high school, wrapping their imaginations in prayer and believing God. They were so convinced that their imagination will one day become a reality. 9 years later, in fact, just yesterday, Putumani, now a qualified lab scientist, led worship in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, at a church plant of about 1,000 people. Unfortunately, the other boy could not come after Putumani to preach the gospel because he gracefully stands before you today, not in a sports field, but in a sports center, not in front of grass, but in front of real people at Liberty University. God is faithful. I want to pose a challenge to you today. Practice imagination and have a vision. Putumani and I did not just imagine. We believed and prayed for our imaginations to be a reality. Dr. Jerry Falls Sr., he is now in heaven, once said, nothing of eternal importance can be accomplished apart from prayer. I strongly believe that what we had imagined was of eternal significance and would only be accomplished by prayer. The second challenge I have for you is to be strong and courageous. As if preaching the word to the grass was not crazy enough, the boy imagined again. He imagined improving the quality of life to the people in Zimbabwe. In order to do that and sharpen his speaking skills for public office, he knew he had to be trained and trained by the best. The boy heard of a university on a mountain founded by a man who was a master at imagining the future, a man who knew how to stand on his knees. He heard of a university that trains champions for Christ. Although his parents could not afford it, although his background ruled him out, although the odds were against this boy, he had to be strong and courageous. The boy gathered his belongings and left the savannah grasslands of Zimbabwe. He had no tuition, no idea how he would embark on a journey of faith to be trained at Liberty University. The journey was rough. When he landed in mainland USA, he found himself in homeless shelters. He found himself staying in trailer parks, getting food in soup kitchens in downtown Lynchburg on 5th Street. But the boy believed that one day he would walk the hallways of Demos as a freshman. The boy believed that one day he would listen to the Elmer Towns of this mountain in the religion hall, to sing and dance in the Vine Center, and maybe get a ring for spring at the monogram. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The boy did not give up. The boy did not give up. And in the summer of 2006, after months of praying and fasting, the boy was found in a soup kitchen by a Thomas Road Baptist Church pastor named Tim Grantstaff. That fall semester of 2006, the boy was enrolled into Liberty University to be trained to be a champion for Christ, so he could go back and improve the quality of life of his people. Ladies and gentlemen, that boy stands today in front of you as a graduate of Liberty University. I am back in the savannah grasslands of Zimbabwe, improving the quality of life of my people. As a student, I studied Smile for Africa. And today, in partnership with World Help, founded by Vernon Brewer, in partnership with Liberty University, and you, the students, today Smile for Africa is feeding the hungry. We have Christian High School with at least 150 students. We sponsor over 200 orphans and vulnerable children. We provide clean water access to rural villages, and we have impacted over 10,000 villagers. We have created employment. We have a sports academy for soccer and basketball. We have over 100 teenagers a week, and above all, Smile for Africa gets to tell them about Jesus and give them an eternal smile. At Liberty University, you have the opportunity to go for missions around the world, to talk to real people, not grass, like I did at first. Imagine yourself holding that little child in Zimbabwe, talking to a hurting mother in Japan, encouraging a family that has no hope in the Middle East. Imagine yourself in that field of missions, in that field of opportunity. Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa, once said, "It seems impossible until it is done." They thought it was impossible for me to study at Liberty University and improve the quality of life of my people. Yes, it seems impossible, and today it's done. Jesus answered his disciples and said, "With men, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." In conclusion, I asked a good friend of mine about missions and said, "What statement would you give Liberty University about missions?" She paused for a bit and said, "Tell them it's cool." I was like, "Really?" And then she's like, okay, tell them it's super cool. I'm here to tell you today that it is super cool to go for missions and minister Jesus Christ and minister hope. Now, imagine it. Be strong and courageous and go for it. Thank you.